And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Monday, June 17th. I am the host for today's program, Paul Demain, and many of the stories read here can be found in our publication, News from Indian Country, or online at IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories for the day. Wisconsin Republicans want to act quickly by sneaking in a new provision into the Governor Walker's state budget that would ban Wisconsin citizens from being anywhere near a proposed mining site in northern Wisconsin. Representative Mark Honedel of South Milwaukee says he will try to convince GOP lawmakers to slip the change into the state budget on Tuesday evening, June 18th, when the budget arrives in the State Assembly for consideration. The change in the law would ban the public from anywhere near the site of GTEC drilling. Officials reported that mining workers claimed they were attacked by eco-terrorists last week when a dozen protesters confronted the workers in the woods. The New American Athletic Conference will hold its first women's basketball tournament at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. The conference announced that the 2014 tourney would be played at the resort in southeastern Connecticut, which includes a just under 10,000-seat arena that is home to the WNBA's Connecticut Sun. The tournament will take place March 7th through the 10th. The deal gives the league the option to return in 2015. The casino, which is owned by the Mohegan tribe, pitched itself as a venue few others could match, including a luxury hotel and box office on site, 30 restaurants, retail shops, and 13,000 free parking spaces. Tens of thousands of acres in Oregon's drought-stricken Klamath Basin will have to go without irrigation water this summer after the Klamath Tribes and the federal government exercised for the first time newly confirmed powers that put the tribes in the driver's seat over the use of water. Klamath Tribes Chairman Don Gentry and U.S. Bureau of Reclamation Commissioner Mike Connor said recently they were making what is known as a call on their water rights for rivers flowing into Upper Klamath Lake in southern Oregon. The tribes are maintaining river flows for fish, while the Bureau is using the water from the Klamath Reclamation Project, a federal irrigation project covering 225,000 acres along the Oregon-California border south of Klamath Falls. The new powers were made possible by a March ruling of an administrative law judge confirming the tribes have the oldest water rights in the Upper Basin and therefore have the first say over controlling it. A Native American tribe that has long battled the devastating effects of alcoholism is planning to ask its tribal members whether it should legalize alcohol on its South Dakota reservation. The Oglala Sioux Tribal Council voted 9-7 last week to bring the question of legalizing alcohol sales on the Pine Ridge Reservation to a public vote. Alcoholism is rampant on the reservation because people sneak in beer and liquor from nearby border towns such as White Clay, Nebraska. The question of legalizing alcohol for revenue for the tribe has caused deep division amongst tribal members. Alcohol was legalized on the reservation for 2 months in 1970. The ban was restored 2 months later. An attempt to allow it in 2004 died after an outcry. A date for the new vote has not been set yet. Laguna Pueblo is working with Sacred Wind Communications to bring internet service to the central New Mexico tribe. The high-speed broadband project was first unveiled last week. Officials say it's aiming at connecting every home and building in the tribe's 6 villages. The project has been funded through 6 separate grants from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The director of the Pueblo's Utility Authority, Leonard Otero, says the service means residents will have access to academic, medical, employment, and other types of valuable information. Sacred Wind will train utility workers to manage the broadband system, and different service packages will be available to residents. The top administrator for an Idaho high school says the school will drop its longtime Redskins nickname, logo, and mascot in a move to show respect for Native Americans. Superintendent Monte Wolstenholm announced last week that the Teton High School and Driggs will begin searching for a new nickname and mascot. He says the decision was motivated by the need to teach students to see beyond skin color and assumption based on appearances. but it also comes amid a renewed push to get the Washington Redskins of the NFL to change its team's name. Last month, 10 members of Congress sent letters urging the team's owner to discontinue using Redskins because it is offensive to many Native Americans. The decision won praise from the local school board. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining and come back again soon.